Welcome back to the channel. Today we got Why I Left America, and this is from Christian Grassi. And the original link will be in the description if you want to check out his original channel. So, with that being said, we're smoking on my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking, and we about to find out why he left America.
Months ago, I sold and donated everything. 15 months ago, I sold and donated everything I owned in the US to go and travel the world and eventually live somewhere else. But I know for most people, that sounds like a very difficult task to do, mentally, financially, physically. But for me, it was really clear that I wanted to leave. So here are the reasons why I left the United States and wanted to live somewhere else. Number one, cost of living. I lived in New York for about 22 years. I've had 15 plus jobs, working two at all times. I was even kicked
Okay, it's starting to sound like he's speaking about me now.
out of my house at 19 and never went home. So I understand how expensive it is to live in New York on your own. And I understand that New York is a more expensive part of the United States than others, but this is generally what it costs nowadays to live in most parts of the United States. I remember spending money on rent, food, car, because it's required basically in the US to own a car. It's a society that's run on the car. All the insurances, healthcare, I was spending on a minimum about $2,500 per month. And honestly, I was spending that money on a life that was super repetitive, and I just didn't feel happy. I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it. I felt like every week was the same thing of doing work, going to the gym, on the weekend seeing a friend or two, and then you just restarted it. So I got tired of spending my money on that sort of life. So I decided to get rid of it and leave. And if you followed my journey around the world, you know how much my budget is. I spend roughly $1,500 on everything while traveling. So in a sense, it is cheaper to travel around the world all the time than it is to live statically in the United States. And since leaving, I've experienced so many different cultures, different experiences. I've gotten new perspective on ways of life that were similar and different to what I had in the US, and been able to implement changes that have made me so much happier in those aspects. Number two would be the direction of the country. And if there's going to be anything that's controversial about what I'm saying in this video, it's probably going to be this, because there's going to be people that disagree with what I'm saying. But again, like I said earlier, that's totally fine. Now, this is something that I noticed 2 or 3 years ago, that I felt like the country was going in a direction where we were more worried about things going on outside of the United States rather than inside the United States. Like, for example, infrastructure. Did you know that there are 46,000 bridges in the United States that are structurally deficient? But we send so many aid packages all over the world to different countries to help them with their issues. And I'm not
We don't like to worry about our own backyard.
saying that's wrong, but don't you think that it'd be more important to fix the problems at home rather than abroad? And I feel recently in the United States, as Americans, we are so unbelievably divided that we don't care anymore about what makes the country better. We just individually want certain aspects to be better regardless of how the other side feels. It's about making one particular issue better while ignoring the rest, which may be a reason why it seems like nothing's been done for so long to make the country move forward. Also, I want to ask you, when is the last time you walked into a supermarket or a store and what you were buying was made in the United States? Because even though I haven't been in the United States,
To be honest with you, I don't. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to really think long and hard and search my stuff and really grocery store, I guess. Like I don't like those local the local business, small businesses. I don't. I'd have to think.
in a long time, I can't remember the last time I did that. For example, here in Argentina, everything is made in Argentina. You can see even this bottle of water, Industry Argentina. Everything in this country is made here. And number three are the differences of living in the United States and outside the United States. And all of the things I'm about to say, I found out once I left the United States. Number one, is the cost of education. Nowhere else in the world do students go to university and college and leave with $100,000 in debt. Actually, most of my friends now live outside the United States. Either they're European or they're Asian from South America. And in Europe, a lot of the countries give the students money. Like, they pay the students stipends to go to school that don't have to be repaid. And out of all days that this video could have been made, today is that special day. The day that the Supreme Court has struck down the president's student loan relief plan. You know, the plan, like most politicians in the United States, that they run on this major plan that's gonna be groundbreaking and it gets them votes, and then when they get into office, nothing ever happens about it. Yes, that one. Number 2 is work-life balance. I remember when I was in the United States, I used to work a job where I was given 0 vacation days. This was a 40-hour-a-week job that I worked for the state, and I was given no vacation days for the entire year. But in Europe, it is very normal to get 1 to 2 months of vacation, and this is per year. While in the United States, getting
Those vacations is needed. I mean, listen, especially right now, it's a lot of people going through it. Obviously, it's holiday season, and even just working something like retail and just, I mean, it's gonna be very, very hard to get an off day like that, you know.
Getting 1 week of vacation per year is the normal, and anything over that, someone will be like, wow, that's a pretty good job. And number 3 is the issue in the United States that gets talked about all the time, but no changes ever happen. Healthcare. I pay $20 a month for international healthcare insurance, and this covers my doctor's appointments. If I need to go to the hospital, it gives me like $500,000 in healthcare coverage, which outside of the United States is way more than you would ever need ever. But heck, I even spent 24 hours in a Moroccan hospital without insurance, and it only cost me $30. Could you imagine what the cost of that would have been back home? We've gotten so normal to paying $2,000 for the ambulance to go to the hospital, $7,000 to deliver a child in a hospital with insurance. But to us, if you don't leave the United States, it's normal. Don't get me wrong, not everywhere that I've been is in better shape than the United States. I've been to countries where I'm like, yep, we have it really good at home. I've seen some terrible things while traveling the world to the 60 countries that I've been to, but the majority of them have made me decide I don't want to go back. Which is something that I think is a factor in all of these, is the lack of perspective. In the United States, we have the perspective of people from the United States, and we never venture out to go see the other perspective of what it's like outside. Now, I have more personal points that are more specific, but these are the main reasons why I left the United States. And like I said earlier, I would have never known these unless I left and started living and traveling in different countries around the world. But let me know, do you agree with anything that I said? Do you disagree with anything I said? I would love the discussion. Let me know in the comments below. Also, I want to thank all the Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram subscribers for supporting this channel and supporting this adventure around the world. Always remember, guys, travel is a privilege. Enjoy every second of it, and I'll see you in the next video. But let's have a discussion below. I would love to hear your thoughts. See ya.
Honestly, you know, everybody has their reasons. He definitely listed a lot of things that made sense. He still got me questioning, like, what, you know, what did I, when's the last time I bought something that was actually made in America? Yeah, I'm still pondering on that in my head right now. But yeah, he hit a lot of points, and one thing I did like that he said though was within his traveling experiences, he did also see other places that were way worse that, you know, made him grateful. Obviously, like he does realize that there is a lot of privilege being American, but at the same time, he knows what he specifically wants out of life and what's fortifying or fulfilling for his soul. It always comes down to the individual, and that's really what I believe. But he did make a lot of points. Like when I start traveling abroad, who knows? I could go to Sweden or France or Britain and feel like, whoa, I never want to go back. You know, So it's like there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions who, oh, well, if you don't like America, leave. But it's like it's a lot of people who just not open minded, who are ignorant, or who don't even really travel like that, that just say things like that, and it really be out of ego, and it's not, a lot of those conversations ain't really healthy. There's a lot of people out there who just their minds ain't healthy. They're just caught up in that false self, that patriotic, oh, we're the best. You don't like it, get out of here. It's like, no, let's have a real discussion, you know. And what a Christian here had was a real discussion, and he made a lot of valid, awesome points. So with that being said, shout out to Christian Grossi. Once again, original link in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely don't hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell, and definitely show love to Christian and subscribe to his channel. And I'll be back with more soon. Much love.